A few years ago, on a cold September morning in Idaho, Jonathan Hart and his hunting partner, Jason Hairston, left their camp in the darkness and began climbing through intermittent rain and snow. As they topped out on the ridge above, drenched in precipitation and perspiration, the wind picked up and the pair hunkered behind a white pine for protection. With bull elk bugling all around and shivering in about the best stuff the hunting world had to offer at that point, the two hatched the idea for Sitka Gear. The pair looked at their closets full of mountaineering apparel and applied their backcountry hunting experience to the development of what is now widely recognized as the best hunting clothing available. Jonathan joined outdoor photographer and Mystery Ranch marketing director Mark Seacat to run through Sitka's comprehensive layering system and how it applies to the divergent approaches required in pursuing various species in variable weather conditions.
It seems like a lot of the other companies, without really having the products in place, are saying, hey, layer up, you know, and like jump in and like start throwing on more stuff, which isn't how you really approach it.
It's an educational process. I mean, it's taking time. People are getting it. The fundamentals of layering are not specific to the mountaineering industry or hunting in the mountains at all. It goes coast to coast, pole to pole. Most of the experts are the guys who fly low on the radar, put the time in the field. What Sitka's done has really resonated with those guys. Clothing specifically has always been kind of the second thought. Is you talk about your bows, you talk about your guns, you talk about your optics. Or at the core of it, none of that's important unless you're wearing the right stuff.
I've got like my base layer on here, and then where do I go?
Base layer is the critical piece in every layering system. Most people associate base layer as a cold weather piece to keep them warm. Not the case. It's all about moisture management and keeping your skin dry. Because when your skin's dry, you're going to be cool when it's hot, and at the other end of the spectrum, you're going to be warm when it's cold. So what you're doing now is you're building a foundation. You've got two different pieces that you can adjust with temperatures and that are going to help you regulate how warm or cold you're going to be in relation to the temperatures. Right now you're geared up in the Celsius system. High loft, high heat to weight ratio, not a lot of bulk. This is your late season layering system where you're going to be stationary, and the great part about the way you're set up right now is it really illustrates the layering system because you're using a number of different layers to create heat without a lot of weight, and also you can truly demonstrate how you've got flexibility as conditions change. As you take pieces on and off, you're adjusting for changing conditions as the day moves on. Really cold in the morning, sun crests the ridge, it starts to heat up a little bit. As it goes to the middle of the day, you're gonna be warmer, and by the end of the day, it's gonna start cooling down a little bit more. I mean, everybody knows the most successful hunters who are shooting the biggest bucks are shooting at midday, and that means you've got to go dark to dark, and with a layering system, it allows you to adjust to be comfortable and sit on stand all day. We're right back to where we were in the beginning, talking about the core of your layering system.
Gotcha. So basically from elk hunts all the way to cold weather whitetails, I'm just adding pieces to what I'm wearing.
Exactly. I mean, that's fundamentally the core of what layering does for everybody.
And so how do you do that with like the different hats? Like you have different hats and balaclavas and that kind of stuff, as well as gloves and everything.
We've spent a lot of time talking about layering for the upper body, but layering, it's a system for your entire body. Whether you're talking about your legs, starting base layers next to skin, a little more expedition weight outer layer piece, talking about your head where you're starting with the thinner, lighter weight pieces that are moving moisture and sweat off your head, to a little more insulation, wind stopping capabilities, ear flaps. Again, you're layering. Your gloves, you're starting with a lighter glove when it's warmer, putting on a little heavier glove as it gets colder, maintaining dexterity, but without turning into the Michelin Man. And the only way you can do that is using the new technologies that exist out there that let you build pieces that stretch and move with you, that are highly breathable, that are keeping the weather off of you. Things like DWR finishes, one of the critical pieces that have made soft shell jackets and vests and pants, hats extremely popular, is that you're keeping the weather out without building the weight up. And it doesn't matter whether you're hunting the mountains or you're sitting on stand. the same principles of the layering system are going to apply and make you more successful because you can stay out in the field longer.